Are you sitting comfortably? Then we'll begin.
10 minutes left. Yeah, but there's still some time. It's not the final score. We need more than the numbers we're given. Show us you live and breathe the game. You're more than a name. That's what we came for. We can bring you more than the score. Every story. Let's take this thing off of the field into the real world away from the numbers.
Well, hello again, friends in podcast land, and welcome to episode 134 of There's Still Time, the AFTN podcast. I'm Michael McCall,
And I'm Steve Pender.
and we're bringing you a special Canadian and Whitecaps double dose.
Yeah, we're coming live from BC Place after Canada defeated Honduras, got a little bit of revenge on them by beating them 1-0 in World Cup qualifying. Obviously, yes, I know it's still 1-0.
I'm making a face here.
It's still one. I know it's 8-2 on aggregate right now, but last two games, but still, it's a 1-0. It's a good start to the qualifying season.
Yeah, and I think what you can draw from that is two things. One, the Canadian men's national team have to play every single match now in Vancouver. And two, Canada's now going to the World Cup in Russia.
Well, it seems like it, the way everybody was celebrating by the end of the game. It was a very jubilant celebration. You expect the fans to be like that, but the players were just itching to get off the pitch.
I said to you, watch the bench. And
They
as soon
exploded.
as the final whistle came, mass explosion.
Borian went on two knees. He was pointing to the sky, and people were just going right over to it was amazing. But looking back on the history of Canada, you know, we it's a good start. Like we said,
Totally. All jokes aside,
Yeah.
fantastic dream start.
And it
in
felt
some
like it
ways.
could have been more than just 1-0 because they had a couple of chances there and here and there.
And you can hear the Canadian fans leaving, hopefully in the background here.
It is really a great.
Yeah, I mean, well, first of all, let's talk about the crowd.
Yeah.
Just over 20,000. Yes, there were some Groupon deals and some of those kind of deals in the lead up to the
Only
game.
400 packages available.
Yeah,
from what it
but
looked like.
they also offered to certain kind of city workers a 2-for-1 deal as well.
Nothing wrong with that.
No. So obviously the dream of a lower bowl sellout didn't happen, but over 20,000, biggest ever attendance at this stage of the World Cup qualifying. Well,
in a long time.
I don't know if it was the biggest ever. Maybe I should temper that, but certainly from 4 years ago,
Yeah.
or 3 years ago, I think it might have been, way better than what Toronto drew.
And then you also got to look at it in Toronto. There is quite a number of opposition support as well. So when you got numbers, the attendance numbers, there's quite a few from the other country. Here, there was some smattering right below the press box. Obviously, they had a section in the far corner.
Which got bigger in the second
I think
half.
some
It's
people
like,
went
yeah.
there, or maybe they were late coming or something like that. Some people obviously getting off work late. I think it got bigger as the second half game all over in multiple parts of the stadium. But the Canadian supporter section, that was full. Flags waving throughout the whole game, everybody standing up. It was fantastic.
Great atmosphere. And yeah, I was maybe a little bit in jest when I said that Canada now needs to play all their games here. But there should be no way that it's 11 years till they come back.
Definitely.
And to me, it should move around the country. We were talking about this during the game, but it should move around the country. And Vancouver has done a lot of good for itself to get the national team back here on a regular basis. Not just an odd game every few years, but on a regular basis.
And I think they need to alternate it, like you said, East, West, Central. One game, if they find enough interest in Edmonton, based on what they've done before there.
Yeah, I mean, I have no problem. I mean, for a country this size, for it to be a truly national team, they need to move the games around.
And you got to take the advantage of opening that roof.
Yeah.
It was
frozen.
cold. I was cold.
Yeah.
I'm born here and I'm cold.
I mean, I am stiff.
Yeah.
And it's not just from my excitement at seeing Canada win. It's like it was pretty nippy out there.
Yeah, it could be your medication too.
Well, yeah, it's that as well. Yeah, definitely.
So,
actually, did Canada win, or is that my medication? I'm not sure.
So, some of the players that impressed us, obviously, the newest guy that just arrived, Junior Hoylett, played his first cap, basically, as Canada official cap, and he's now tied, definitely, so he can't go anywhere else. We're guaranteed that now. I thought he was probably one of their most impressive players. Yeah, I mean, he had a really good game, and not a new guy in the sense of committing to Canada, but a new guy just in terms of age and playing at this kind of stage of the tournament. Kyle Larn, with the goal, Kyle Larn's ass. I mean, there has to be some kind of tifo now in the future for Kyle Larn's ass. I think so. Somebody's got to get on that right away.
Because I'm not giving that goal to Will Johnson, because there is no way I'm going to cheer a Will Johnson goal at BC Place.
At end of the match, it was surprising to see, because you can see it on the big screen, Will Johnson in the supporter section at BC Place, signing autographs and doing selfies with some of the fans there. So it is turned around completely.
Well, I do have to say, and I never thought I would say this, and I feel really dirty for saying this, I really liked Will Johnson tonight. And who knows? He seems to be a little bit out of favour in Portland. Yes, he's had his injuries this season. He just had pins or something removed from his leg. But he was fully fit tonight, and he said all week he was fully fit.
He played 90 minutes, and he was solid through the
He was on the bench for Portland against the Caps last Sunday and didn't come off the bench.
Yeah. No, it's surprising. Another guy who I liked, obviously, and he's got a lot of pedigree, Atiba Hutchinson, just like controlled the match at the midfield.
He was my Canadian man of the match tonight. Just fantastic back there. Again, another guy that could do a job for the Whitecaps or for MLS. He would obviously come at a price.
A big price, yeah.
Yeah, but no, I mean, both Johnson and him, they were the two standout guys tonight.
And, well, you also another guy too, and he's torn between playing in the upcoming Super Bowl or whatever they call
Super Bowl?
Sorry,
Soccer Bowl.
In the upcoming Soccer Bowl or whatever they call it now.
I think it's just the NASL Championship,
yeah. Julian de Guzman, I thought he was
who
really,
I spoke to during the week, did a piece on AFTN, which hopefully you saw.
And he was the captain, which I thought Atiba Hutchinson would be the captain, because he's normally the captain, but they gave it to de Guzman. And de Guzman, I thought he did it really well. He was really in the referee's face most of the time. He was really fighting for his teammates, and whenever there was a call on the field, and he not only that, he came close to scoring on one of those shots in the first half before the goal went in. It was just knocked over the crossbar by the Honduran goalkeeper.
Well, talking about being in the referee's face, let's talk about the referee.
I want him to referee every match that Canada's involved in.
Yeah, I mean, he was excellent. Jamaican referee Kevin Morrison. But the referee was fantastic. I do think there may have been a little bit of payback from him, just to say a thank you to Vancouver. And a sorry to Vancouver for the form of Darren Mattocks for the Caps for the last 3 years.
Or he could have been promised a Darren Mattocks signed jersey if the Canada won today.
But yeah, Mattocks jersey. I mean, who doesn't want a Darren Mattocks jersey? Obviously going to be a collector's item in years to come.
For sure, definitely.
And another thing about being in the referee's face, Canada tonight finally learned how to CONCACAF.
Yeah, definitely. They were killing time. You tweeted out Borean was giving instructions to the ball boy about, slowly giving him the ball. Don't give him the ball too quickly.
Yeah, but about, 15 minutes to go, you saw Borean, call the ball boy over and just say to him, look, calm things down. It's like, don't give the ball back so quick. We need to waste time here. Or I'm assuming that's what he was saying.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's clever stuff. It's stuff that Canada need to do. They wasted time in the last 10, 15 minutes. It was a perfectly executed performance. Clean sheet. Got the 3 points. Few concerning things we have to talk about. One of them being only one goal to show for the chances that were created. Will Johnson rattled one off the post, and it was a scrambled goal. It wasn't exactly a decisive 1-0 victory against a very poor, in my opinion, Honduras side.
Yeah, Honduras, they got some shots. Like, we're looking at the stats, shots on target, it was 6-4 in favor of Canada. But I don't remember. Honduras had that one chance late in the second half where Borean had to tip it over the bar. Other than that, their shots weren't that dangerous. Oh, there was one too that Borean had to scramble around because he kind of lost the ball, it lost track of it, and just had to scramble to get a hold of it. Other than those two, there was not much for Honduras to attack, especially in the first half. They were really disappointing in the first half.
Yeah, I mean, completely. And then the other really concerning aspect was the defence.
The centre-backs especially.
Centre-backs especially, pass-backs as well. Will Johnson was guilty for a few of those. The fact that Borjan seemed to spend more time rushing off his line than calmly staying on his line. I mean, I've never seen a goalkeeper have to come out so many times in a first half to just clear danger.
Yeah, I would like to see his, like, you know how the heat map they have, and see exactly where he was, because I could have sworn sometimes he was across the centre pitch.
Well, then towards the end, we saw him, like, when the ball was at the other end of the park in injury time, and then he rushed from his goal line to the bench to give a message, and we were going, what the hell is he doing?
Yeah.
So that was a bit worrying, but I mean, the 10 yards in front of the Canada box, very, very concerning.
Yeah.
They're going to need to really knuckle that down in away games, because they're going to get punished and it's going to be costly. Wasn't punished tonight, that's great. They kick off this section of the qualifying semi-final stage with 3 vital points. They have to win their home games.
Yeah.
3 vital points. Now they've got the game coming up on Tuesday against El Salvador. We talked about this last podcast, but I mean, anything that they can get from that, 1 point, great. 3 points, fantastic.
Now, what do you think they should go? Go quickly looking forward to that game. What do you think they should go? Do you think they should play for the draw, or do you think they should go for the win? El Salvador's kind of like same level as Canada, although maybe not in the rankings in the FIFA, but kind of like level-wise, maybe they're a little bit better, obviously, at home. So what do you think that we should do in this?
I don't want to say they should play for the draw, because I hate that. I hate teams that do play for the draw. But they have to play not to lose, which I know is kind of the same thing. But basically they have to put a team out there that's, I think, better defensively than we got out there tonight. Might make a few little tweaks here or there. I just feel that they can't go gung-ho. So the ideal thing is a Vancouver Whitecaps style counter-attacking road performance.
Yeah, and I think they have the attackers to do that too.
Definitely now. I mean, with Ricketts and Larin and Hoyle, Akindele, they've got the players that can sit back and hit on the break. They've got like the 2-man defensive shield, which is great to soak up the pressure. They just need the centre-backs and the back four in general just to be a little bit more solid and stronger.
And they have a fully rested Russell Tybert to go into that second match as well, which is a positive, I guess.
Yeah, literally the poster boy for Canadian soccer tonight.
He was the centrefold, yes.
Yeah, which I know it's probably a dream of Lord Bob Ben Massey to have a Russell Tybert centrefold. Well, now he's got one.
Yeah, definitely.
And talking of Canadian players that didn't play today, Fraser Aird. Now, some of you might have read my piece on Fraser Aird on AFTN on Friday. If you didn't, we're going to play the full audio now. If you did read it, well, listen to it again. Just listen to his lovely, weird mixture of Canadian and Scottish accent. Let's hear about a guy that has committed now to Canada, although he hasn't...
Still not cap-tied.
Still not properly cap-tied, but he has committed to Canada. I can't see him changing his mind now. So I'll have a chat with Fraser just about that decision, the tough decision that he made to go for Canada over Scotland, and just about life playing with Glasgow Rangers. So here is Fraser Aird. How are you feeling the day before the first World Cup qualifier of this stage of things?
Yeah, obviously looking forward to it. It's exciting times for Canada, obviously. Qualification for the World Cup. I think everyone's dreams, obviously, to go play in a World Cup. I think we have a really good squad this time around, and I think we can go on and do big things, but we have a chance to go and prove ourselves on Friday. Our first game's massive, so we can get off to a good start and hope we can go and get the 3 points.
Now, over the years, Canada's lost a lot of players. They've chosen to play for other countries, but the tide seems to be kind of switching now. Like Techel's committed, and Junior committed, and yourself as well. What is it about this squad now that's making guys decide that they want to play for Canada? And like, how tough a decision was it for you to choose between Scotland and Canada?
I think it was tough for me, obviously, born in Canada, playing my football in Scotland. Everyone in my family's from Scotland, other than me and my brother, so it was tough, but I just thought that this is where my roots lie. I was born in Canada, so I think I should play for Canada, and I think I've obviously made the right choice. Obviously got my first cap last month there, and now I'm back involved with the senior squad, so hopefully long may it continue, and hopefully I can go on and make a few more. But the most important thing is obviously the qualification games coming up, and hopefully we can start off with 3 points here in front of a good crowd on Friday night.
I totally agree with your decision. I do believe, like, if you're born in the country, that's the country that you should go with. So when you chose Canada, I was totally fine with that. But what was what kind of reaction have you had back in Scotland to because you were, was it under 17 and under 19 level there? I mean, have they been supportive?
I think
no one really mind,
I think obviously they know that I made up my mind, so it's kind of put to the back burners a bit. They know I was born in Canada, so they were all right with me obviously making my decision. At the end of the day, it was my decision. No one else could really influence me other than myself. But now I've made my decision now, and I'm committed to Canada, so hopefully I can go on and have a good career with them.
Now, you've been playing with Rangers, you came through the youth system there, you've been playing in all the lower leagues. Now, my team's East Fife, so actually you've played against us a couple of seasons ago. How have you found this journey that the club's on just now, going from the bottom tier to, by the looks of it, this season it's going to be promotion back to the Premier?
Yeah, obviously it's been interesting. It's been a tough few years for Rangers, players, fans, everyone involved at the club. But I think it was probably the best time for a young boy to be at the club like myself, because we got a chance. And back in the day, it was only a few young boys got their chance to break through to the first team and also stamp their authority and keep their place in the first team. I was lucky enough to be one of them to do that when we went into the third division. And I've been in the first team ever since for the last 3 years. So hopefully I can go in and keep up my performances with them, and hopefully I can keep getting called obviously to play for my country. But no, it's been a tough road, and things are looking a lot more positive now. Obviously we're 5 points clear at the top of the table in the championship, looking to get promoted this year, and hopefully we can get Rangers back to where they belong, the top of Scottish football.
For people that maybe don't coming from Scotland, I obviously know the whole Celtic and Rangers thing and how bad it can get. How have you found it as a player? Is it tough to go out? Do you live in Glasgow? Or do you live in the outskirts?
No, I live in Glasgow, the West End.
Is it tough because of just everything that goes on there, or is it not as bad as? I'm from the East Coast, so we always imagine it's really, really bad.
No, it's all right. I think it's more good than bad. You get fans coming up to you, saying hello, wanting pictures. Little kids want pictures and autographs. So I think it's a good thing in a sense. But obviously you do get your bad times, but I think it's a lot more positive than it is negative. You're always going to get the negatives here and there, but no, I think it's a lot more positive than it is negative. And no, I love it. I love living in Glasgow. People are friendly. It's a lovely country. Football's good, obviously playing for the club I grew up supporting my whole life, so it's couldn't get any better, to be honest, for me. But no, it's been good, and hopefully Rangers can get back to the top of Scottish football, and obviously can get back playing against Celtic 4 or 5 times a year, because that's what the Scottish people want to see.
Yeah, the least needing that. Well, good luck with everything.
Cheers,
and good luck tomorrow.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Can't wish you good luck with Rangers though. Cheers. So that was Fraser Aird there. Now, we mentioned earlier that we were fans of Will Johnson tonight. And as Steve said, he was in the supporters' end at the end, taking selfies, signing autographs. And I actually caught up with Will Johnson on Thursday at Canada Training. And for regular listeners of this podcast, we usually do our Carl Robinson's Big Question. So now, instead of that, we thought we would do Big Johnson's Question.
Big Johnson? I think you mean Johnson's Big
Question.
Question.
Oh, yeah, Johnson's Big Question. Very, very confusing. Big Willie. That's what I was thinking of. So, without any further ado, here is Will Johnson's Big Question.
Questions and answers, honesty lies. Yes, no you can't, but you can if you know why.
So, joined by Will Johnson now. Now, you're going to be playing for Canada, or you're with Canada for the game at BC Place on Friday. What's it going to be like being at BC Place as a Portland player? Yeah. You've usually got the guys shouting at you. What's it going to be like having?
I think it'll be good, man. I don't think anybody will notice. We're all celebrating Canada tomorrow night, and obviously I'm a part of that, and I'm on the good guys now. So I think people will put the Cascadia rivalry behind them and support the boys. It'll be a nice night.
That's great. Thanks so much. Good luck tomorrow.
Yeah.
Questions and answers, honesty lies. Yes, no you can't, but you can if you know why.
Will Johnson there. As we discussed, the Canadian fans certainly did not abuse or boo him.
Oh, Vancouver fans. I don't think he
Vancouver
never
fans,
had
yeah.
issues with Toronto.
Yeah, sorry, yeah. I should just say the Vancouver BC Place fans did not abuse, and they cheered him on to the hilt, as you should for any player that is playing for your national team. But enough about Canada now. For the rest of the podcast, we're going to turn our attentions to Vancouver Whitecaps.
Some big news this week.
Oh, yeah, Matthias Laba. The first, or the latest, I guess, of the re-signings. Pedro was the first of the re-signings,
Yeah, the season.
but the latest of the re-signings. Obviously, we're delighted by that, Steve.
Yeah, I think it's. We were talking about it. I was talking about a couple of people before the game. It's a great multi-year signing. It doesn't mean what Matthias Laba is going to be here for all those years on the contract. All it means is if somebody does come for Matthias Laba with a transfer offer, the transfer offer is going to be better because he's got multi-years on the deal. And obviously it's good for Matthias because he has a little bit more security going forward.
Yeah, and I mean, a great signing. Great to get him tied up. There is a chance that he could go overseas. I as awesome as he's been for the Caps and in MLS, I still don't think he's quite ready to go to a top team. Maybe a championship second-tier team for sure in England, but I don't see the big Premier League clubs or the top flight in Italy, Spain, Germany, whatever, coming calling for him just quite yet. So I think it's good for the player, it's good for the Whitecaps to get that tied up. The Whitecaps had their end-of-season media day on Thursday afternoon. It was a very interesting end-of-season chat that we had with Carl Robinson and a few of the players. Carl talked about the signing Matty Laba up, and he also mentioned that in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 days, he said, keeping his options very open there's going to be more announcements. There's going to be news of more re-signings. There's going to be news as to what's happening with some of the veteran players. And by the sounds of it, we're also going to hear as well about which players may be released.
Yeah, I think they have to do this quickly. I think the team still in the playoffs will have a little bit of respite, but everybody outside the playoffs will probably have to make it. Because you have to be fair to the players too. And you have to give them as much time as possible to see what their options are other places.
Oh, sure. And they've all had their exit interviews now.
Yeah.
They all got those on Thursday. And then watch out for AFTN. We're going to bring you our regular keep trade release, which someone said it's a bit like Snog, Murder, Kill or whatever it is. I don't think Snog, maybe that's what it is. Maybe Torture, Murder, Kill. Anyway, I don't know what the game is. I don't know where I'm going here.
Torture, murder, and kill kind of do the same thing. So
Very true. Let's just move on quickly. Snog, marry, avoid. I don't know. Definitely Snog, Matty Laba. But yeah, there's going to be some announcements soon. One of the guys that we have to kind of speculate a little bit on is David Ousted.
yes.
Now, the Caps, it's an option year for Ousted. The Caps want him. The Caps are going to pick up his option without a doubt.
And he's a pricey option too, considering most goalkeepers are.
But that's the thing. It's like, are they going to have to make a bigger deal for him not to be lured to Europe? Is he going to be lured to Europe? Would he go in January, or is there a chance that no club would really come in for him now until maybe the summer?
Yeah.
So we might have him for the first half of the year, give the Caps a bit of time to line up a replacement. The reason that I'm speculating about this, and we'll play just a little bit of... Actually, we'll play the audio now. I asked David just about if he wanted to be here after having 2 stellar seasons, or was the lure of Europe maybe still kind of there for him? So it's a very non-committal answer. Here's what he had to say. For you yourself, had 2 excellent seasons here. Do you get a little bit of itchy feet and maybe think you could maybe look to go back to Europe, or you could totally settled here?
I don't know yet. We're in the midst of talks, obviously, with everybody. What's going to happen next season? I'm going into meetings with the coach and the club to see what happens. So right now, I don't know. Like I said, the disappointment right now is big. So what I'm going to do is head off to Mexico with the family and then recharge the batteries, and then I'll look at it when I get home.
So David Ousted there talking about, does he want to stay with the Whitecaps next season?
Is it a mutual option or is it a team option?
I think it's always a team option.
No, there's
in
sometimes they have
MLS.
a mutual option.
I think that's just the top guys,
Okay.
which for a guy on his salary he's not, although as a player he is. And
Yeah.
that's the thing, he's worth so much more than he's getting paid, but goalkeepers don't get that in MLS.
Yeah, and the thing is, the Whitecaps can offer him a longer contract and give him more years and maybe reduce his yearly salary and make you kind of work it off that, so he will be here for longer, but doesn't have that big hit next year as well. And maybe that's something he's looking for, more security.
Yeah, I mean, and the Caps will definitely pick it up, so they'll get a transfer fee no matter what. No Camilo situations and nonsense like that here. So, I mean, I think we'll have Ousted here. I don't think he will not be starting the season as the starting goalkeeper for the Caps. Come the summer, it could be a whole different story. There were some murmurings that a Scandinavian team had come in for him before, and that was rejected. But again, murmurings, you don't know how true that is, but it wouldn't surprise me.
It all depends also in January, their injuries and everything like that. Or maybe some teams fall out of favor with the keeper they have. So there could be somebody come up with it.
Because he could be a game changer to save a team from getting relegated or to get a team promotion.
Yeah.
And the other big decisions, well, there's I guess a number of big decisions facing Carl Robinson. He said there's not going to be a lot of changes. There will be new faces, but it's not going to be a drastic overhaul and drastic changes. One of the big decisions, of course, is around some of the veteran players. You're going to have Robert Earnshaw, you've got Mauro Rosales, and you've got the two fullbacks, older and on expensive contracts, in Jordan Harvey and Stephen Beitashour. Harvey is still, he's contracted, he's fine as far as I know, it's not an option year. Beitashour is an option year. And
I think it's pricey too.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be. So I personally think the Caps and Beitashour will want to come to an agreement, but it's whether they can come to an agreement that is financially suitable to both. Personally, I would get rid of him. That does leave a big hole in that you do need to get a quality right back because Jordan Smith is not that guy.
Well, you get somebody maybe not. You don't have to get somebody as good as Beitashour. Maybe somebody a little bit better than Smith, so that the two can compete.
But my fear is, you saw how long it was to get a quality right back in the past when we had a search for one.
Yeah, they got YP Lee and then they got Beitashour right after that. It's been a solid position ever since.
Yeah, but before YP Lee, they had a big search for a right back. Yeah,
Jonathan Leathers.
Yeah, I think Beitashour has to take a big pay cut to stay around. Harvey wants to stay here, and I think Harvey will stay here. Robert Earnshaw, as much as I love talking to him, and as we said before, I think we've done more podcast minutes with him this year than he's actually played minutes for the Whitecaps. But you can't see him staying.
No, it'd be difficult. I think if he comes on a really low salary and just wants to maybe get some more coaching minutes, and maybe he'll do that. But overall, I think there'll be some. I think he might get an offer from a championship side or a League Two side because he is still valuable.
Wouldn't be surprised, and he might want to stay here, but in the twilight of his years, he wants to play these games, and he's not playing. And also, you know that Rob was wanting to look, and he's talked about this, bringing in more attackers, more strikers, maybe not to play alongside Rivero unless he changes the whole formation, but to push Rivero or even take over from Rivero. So Earnshaw, to me, there's no room for him there. And of course, the final veteran that we'll just have a quick talk about just now is Mauro Rosales on a high salary.
The high twos, closer to 3 or something like that.
And for me, disappointed a little bit this year. I mean, he had 3 assists on the year. He had 3 assists for the Whitecaps last year, and he only came to us in August.
Yeah, he was. There were times when he was a little valuable because he was playing in the middle when Pedro was hurt, and he became quite valuable then. But when you got two guys like Manny and Teixeira already, your main starters, you don't need that high price as a backup. I think you can get somebody cheaper. Keon's Froze has impressed in the limited minutes he has, so maybe he can get more minutes. So maybe you don't need a Mauro Rosales to come back, but you know definitely that he's the kind of guy that would like to return. He did come from Chivas through Seattle, and he seems to really enjoy his time in Vancouver. So it seems like a guy that would come back maybe for a cut, but depending on how big the cut is.
I think it would have to be a very, very big cut, and it's whether he's prepared to do that. But I had a chance to catch up with Mauro on Thursday just to ask him about the season, the injuries he had, whether he wants to stay with the Whitecaps. If he doesn't, does he want to stay in MLS? So we discussed all those things. So let's hear now from Mauro Rosales. I just wanted to ask you a few things just about your season, your future, just a few things like that. So, first of all, the club. Great season for the club, a lot of firsts. Even though they got beat on Sunday in the semi-final, they achieved so much this year.
Yeah, we have a really positive year. What we spoke in in a long meeting that we had in the beginning of the year. So obviously we point what we wanted to accomplish, and actually we did 90% of what we wanted. For that 10%, we have to work a little bit more. We have to improve our team, improve our levels as well. But this team and this club is going to the right directions for sure, and obviously we wanted to do the best for this team, and we want to work really hard for next year. Obviously, if I'm staying, and trying to help in the best I can. But I have no doubt if I'm here or not, the club will perform in the best way, because they had so much experience this year to move forward and to make a step forward to the goals are for this club. So really happy to be part of. It was an excellent season. Being part of this group is one of the best part of what this team has, because it's enjoyable, working every day with them, with a smile, and obviously trying to do our best.
I was going to ask you about next season, so I may as well just ask you about that now. But do you want to be here? Do you think you will be here?
I wish. Obviously, if I can stay here in the club, but it's not depend on me. Obviously, it is a process. It's not depends on just me. It's the club, it's the staff, it's the players are coming in, the players are coming out, the plans for the clubs for next year. If they want me to be part, obviously I will stay, because I'm really happy here. But it's something that comes with so many things behind that you have to understand, and I'm the one that knows that, and if he's here I will stay in the league for sure. So if he's here, huge. If he's not, I would wish you the best for this club as well.
And you want to stay in Major League Soccer?
Yeah, I will.
You don't really want to go back to South America?
Not yet. So I feel really good on terms of fitness or physical. I really feel really good. So I think for the next couple of years I can still play in the level that I want, and play in the level that I can help the teams that I will be with.
And for you yourself this season, it's been a tough season with injuries.
Not much.
No. It kind of feels that you had a few you missed.
I have 2 injuries, and if a player doesn't have 2 injuries in 1 year after playing 25 games, so I don't think I have problem with my injuries.
Do you feel though that you were maybe targeted by players? Because like a couple of times when you came back,
I have a position that obviously I will be in a target all the time, and times that obviously the way I play, I'm in the risk of having tackles or getting roughness more than normal, but it's because the way I play. So, and the way that I play is just going to the limits, and we have the risk all the time to get injured, or from somebody or from myself. So I don't like to play at 50. If I play at 50%, probably I will play 4 or 5 games. I have to play to hundreds just to play more and to be helpful for the team. So this is the risk.
The team struggled with goals this year, but the creativity was there. It's like there was a number of chances getting created. What does the team have to do now going into next season to convert those chances into actual goals?
We are in a good way, because if you create the chances, this is good for the strikers. Obviously, we have to work more in the confidence of them. But they had a huge tournament as well. They had a huge season as well. Even not having the best level on the last part of the season, we performed in a good game. So obviously improvements, young team, and it's always gonna step and face that kind of problems. Part of the game. It's part of the game. It's not because they don't work. They actually work really, really hard to get to the point that being more effective and being more helpful for the team. So we have nothing for them to regret of not doing it. They work really hard, and they're gonna do it for next year as well. And it probably coming more players that can solve that problem. So it is always positive if you have the chances or create the chances and have the quality on counter, quality on just be patient and try to create something. So they are in the good way.
That's great. Thank you so much and good luck.
Cool.
Hope to see you next year.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mauro. So we've talked about the key players re-signing. We've talked about the veterans. Will some of them stay or go? The other thing is some of the young players. And we won't go into them all just now. One guy I want to talk about is Christian Dean. Now, Christian probably started this season as the 4th choice centre-back, ended it as the 5th choice centre-back. He's in his 2nd season now with the Caps. Tim Parker has clearly overtaken him, but we can't see Diego Rodriguez hanging around. So to me, he's back up to the number 4 spot right now. Whitecaps might draft another centre-back. You don't know how that's going to work out, but you'd see that new guy coming in as 5th. Christian needs to play. So for me, it makes sense that you maybe loan him out and keep his rights, or you just cut ties with him and let him go and get the minutes that he badly needs. Maybe not at MLS level, maybe drop down to NASL level, or go overseas on a loan deal. But I think Christian needs to play. But I also think Carroll wants to keep him around because he does see the potential in him. And when he played this year, he did impress.
I think if he's willing to, I think at the best he'll probably be a number 3 centre back next year, depending on how Robbo's talked to Ka about his return and where he expects his role to be. I think right now Parker and Waston are the starters, like you said. If he's willing to accept the number 3 role, because that the top 3 or 4.
I still think Ka is going to be number 3.
Well, if he's even willing to accept number 4, because even the number 4 guy is going to get some time with injuries and suspensions like this year. But if he's willing to accept that and just keep learning, then I see no problem with him coming back.
So Christian was another guy that I caught up with on Thursday at Caps training. So let's hear from Christian now, just a chat about his season and the future. So here is Christian Dean. Just wanted to ask you about the season, just how you're kind of feeling at the end of it. Obviously coming into the season, so many centre-backs at the club. How do you feel your own personal season has gone?
I thought, it went pretty well. They brought in a couple new centre-backs and with more experience than I had. Coming off of last season with not too much experience, just played in one MLS game. I thought, this season actually was an improvement. I learned a lot. And for, team-wise, I thought we did a whole lot better than everyone expected us to do, being such a young team. I thought we did really well.
And looking to the future, Carroll said he wants to keep you here. But for you, I know you don't want to commit too much either way just now, but you need to play. Are you thinking about your future and what might lie in store for you now?
Yeah, I always think about my future, but I do want to play for Carl. I think he's a very good coach. He wants young players. He wants to play young players. So I'd love to play for him. And if that's what I get to do next year, then that's what I like to do.
Having the likes of Pamadou Ka here and learning off him both on and off the pitch, how do you feel he's kind of been with helping you improve your game, and just what does he bring to the locker room? He's brilliant. We had Andy O'Brien here in my rookie year, and I learned a whole lot from him. So kind of having Paul come in and take over that position, it's been very nice. He teaches Tim and I things every day, and not just him, Kendall does, and even Diego, even though Diego's been injured and been dealing with stuff like that, but I still learn stuff from him. So everybody
everybody helps each other out. But yeah, it's been really nice to have Paul here.
What's your plans for the off-season? Last year you went away on trial.
Yeah.
Did you go to both Rangers and Liverpool?
Yeah, I was there.
How did you find that last year? And is that something that you'd like to do again this off-season, or has that not been discussed yet?
It hasn't been discussed yet, but I mean, if that opportunity arises again, I'd love to go over there. It was a whole lot of fun. Fortunately, I got injured while I was at Liverpool and couldn't really continue with the trial, but yeah, I mean, if that comes up, then definitely would love to take that opportunity.
Cool. Well, good luck with everything, and hope to see you back next year. That's great. Thanks, Christian.
So that was Christian Dean talking to Michael at the end of season interviews, media day at UBC.
He's a good player, he has potential, but he now is at the stage that he needs to play and not at USL level. He needs tested, he needs to get that experience. I think he will be back next year, but I don't know if that's actually the best thing for him. And I'm a big fan of the guy, and he's such a nice guy off the pitch as well, that you kind of just wish him good vibes, and I hope things work out for him. So that's all we're going to talk about for this episode. We're going to be back soonish with the first of our end of season roundtables, just looking over what went right, what went wrong, the future, everything in Whitecaps land.
Some fun stuff.
Yeah, so until then, Steve, just let everyone know where they can find you online.
You can find me on Twitter at WhitecapsBeat.
And I'm Michael McCall. You can find me on Twitter at AFTN Canada. Read all our stuff away from the numbers, aftn.ca. I'm also the Whitecaps beat reporter for MLSsoccer.com, so check out all my stuff on that. So from a very successful and winning red and white BC Place, thanks for listening, take care, and mon the Caps in Canada.
Fantastic. Probably the best Canada crowd I've played in front of in my career. They were unbelievable tonight. It was a real treat to come in and see a lot of red everywhere, outnumber the blue by tons, and that's not always a given in this country. So it's just nice to see us taking steps in the right direction on the field and off the field.